Now to Capitol Hill, and lawmakers racing to avert a government shutdown ahead of a midnight deadline. There had been a bipartisan deal to keep the government running, but President-elect Trump came out against it. And last night, a deal backed by Trump failed to pass. Our chief Washington correspondent, John Carl, is tracking the latest. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Rebecca. In a way, Donald Trump got exactly what he wanted, that bipartisan deal that had been negotiated over months with Republicans and Democrats went down, but so did the bill that Donald Trump wanted to replace it.
Overnight, President-elect Donald Trump doubled down, saying there will be no deal unless Congress extends or eliminates the debt ceiling. This after an 11th-hour deal backed by Trump failed badly on the House floor, as a whopping 38 Republicans defied him and voted against it.
The bill is not passed.
That Republican deal would have temporarily funded the government through March and provided $110 billion in disaster aid. It also meant a last-minute Trump demand, raising the limit on how much the government can borrow for 2 years. But more than 3 dozen Republicans refused to go along with it.
Because you never have any ounce of self-respect to go out and campaign saying you're going to balance the budget, and then you come in here and pass $110 billion unpaid for.
Before that happened, Congress had been poised to vote on a spending deal with bipartisan support. That is until Elon Musk, the world's richest man and increasingly one of Trump's closest advisors, started attacking it earlier this week, arguing it was filled with wasteful spending. Then Trump weighed in with an entirely different demand: to raise or eliminate entirely the so-called debt ceiling that limits how much money the federal government can borrow. Lifting that debt ceiling would make it possible for Trump to borrow and spend more when he becomes president. As President-elect Trump told me, if we don't get that, then we're going to have a shutdown.
We will regroup and we will come up with another solution, so stay tuned.
The looming shutdown comes as an estimated 40 million Americans are expected to fly this holiday season. Any extended shutdown, the TSA administrator warns, could mean longer wait times at airports. And with funding running out at midnight tonight, millions of federal employees are wondering if they'll go without a paycheck just before Christmas, including military families like Kayla Corbett's. She's an Army spouse who runs an organization that helps military families find childcare.
Especially at the holidays, this is just not what our families want to be thinking about when they're already really struggling to get by.
It's entirely unclear what happens next. As Donald Trump told me, he doesn't want to see anything passed that doesn't also raise that debt ceiling, the amount that the federal government can borrow. And as we saw last night, Rebecca, there simply aren't the Republican votes to do that, at least not now.
And John, this intense focus on the debt ceiling is really about delaying or keeping from happening future battles.
Yeah, look, Donald Trump knows, and when I talked to him yesterday, he reiterated this point, that the debt ceiling, the government will hit that limit of how much money it can borrow early next year. That means the first part of his administration, his first 100 days, will be overshadowed by the possibility that the government would hit the debt ceiling. And as he told me, going past the debt ceiling could mean dire economic consequences. He said it could be like 1929-style depression. He doesn't want that to happen. He wants it off the table so he has a clear start to his presidency.
All right, John, thank you. And the stock markets are certainly paying attention to that as well.